Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery. Hello, Sean, Cliff, Patrick, John. Hey, let me get rid of this sound here. Although I do like that sound, you know? Custom outdoor magazine music. I got to get rid of it completely because I don't know if I still have it on loop. So we'll just go ahead and fade it out. Okay, it's faded out. Uncle Johnny, happy birthday to you. 47 years old today. Cliff, Patrick, John, Craig, Johnny Bowler, Captain Jim. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Mike Sills. Let me see if I can change my... Let me see what that does on my end. Ooh, that doesn't do it very... That does not... It might be... Actually, what is happening here is I need to have, I think, my eyes checked. And I don't want to have to wear glasses again. Brian, good evening. How are you? Jim, always a pleasure. Tim. Mike, it's not Johnny Bowler's birthday. It's Johnny Crave's birthday. Uncle Johnny. Jerry says, Mike, what day is it? It's Wednesday. Robert, good evening. Uncle Johnny says 47's been in the rear view mirror for 2 decades. Jerry checking in from Algonac. Let me get these in my ears just right over my other hearing devices. No problem, Mike. Looks like you had some great fishing there in Wisconsin. Pretty cool. Did you catch a steelhead through the ice? Or was that in the river? Elmer checking in from Petoskey. Steve, good evening. How are you? Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Michelle says she's just counting down the days to get the Angler Quest back in the water. So am I. My Angler Quest, Q-W-E-S-T. Brad Dupuy is going to start a new line of boats, the Angler Quest, Q-U-E-S-T. And it's funny, a lot of people in the Apex plant didn't even know that. Ted, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. I do certainly appreciate it. Michelle, I look forward to seeing you at the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction as well. Hello, Sal. Oh, where'd Sal go? There he is. Happy Wednesday night right back at you, Sal. It's raining in Rochester. Better to have rain and warm temps than it is 0, right? Through the ice, my buddy got a brown. We caught 17 whitefish on the bay over there. Green Bay? Where were you? Bill says Spider Lake ice is not safe. Amy says we're at 65 degrees in Tennessee today. Holy cow. Dying some big golden shiners for the morning pike bite. Oh, dying. How do you do that, Jerry? How do you do that? Gina Cannell, our good friend from Jay's Sporting Goods. She's checking in from Vegas. You're there for the SHOT Show, aren't you, Gina? I was thinking about you just today, in fact. I got a guy from Brenton Firearms on the show, and I went, oh, my gosh, I got to get to Jay's and get my paperwork done for that suppressor so I can have it in time for my fall bear hunt this year. So, Gina, have a productive trip. Be safe. Ace says it's raining in Howell. Green Bay, okay. Crazy looking ice. I'll look forward to seeing it. Ed Bolanowski, good evening, buddy. How are you? I know, Gina, I know. I know. Real soon now. Patrick says he locked in one of his bucket list hunts, a November hunt in Saskatchewan. Whitetail hunt. Oh, boy. That's going to be a good one. Justin, good evening. Ice fishing on Erie is over for the year. Did you ever get out there, Jacob? Fired. But what do you do, Jerry? I mean, do you put the dye in the water and then put the shiners in the dye and they pick up that color? How do you do it? Tim says he was at Jay's the other day. Just love everything in that place. Great people. They are great people. Frank says he's looking to get out on his bike maybe next week. Raining in Mason. Hey, Jim. Tony, my fellow skinny water aficionado. Better than saying skinny water rat. I mean that with all due respect and all due affection. Hey, Dan, how are you? My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. So glad to have you along with us on a warm, rainy Wednesday evening. But again, I would rather have this, the warm temps and the rain than have it be 3 degrees with a wind chill of 10 below. Hello, Gene. How are you? Dan, nice to have you along with us. Although Justin says the rain can stop any time now. You must be a snowmobiler or an ice fisherman. In just a few minutes, I'll tell you who's coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. A few things I want to talk about first, though. One of them being my absolute lack of interest in ice fishing. And I love to fish. I love to fish walleye. I love open water fishing. I love to fish the river, jigging, or even casting from shore. I have fished the Saginaw River a lot in the past through the ice. I fished Saginaw Bay a few times through the ice, but I just don't have a desire to do it. I think it's a really interesting place out there. It's a really, you got to know what you're doing. And I'm not going to say that ice is never safe, because of course ice can be safe. But when you get ice on a body of water that's flowing and you have warm water flowing beneath the ice and warm air temperatures above the ice, that's not a good combination. Same thing on Saginaw Bay. You got to know what you're doing out there. And unless we've had a couple of weeks of real solid, heavy, locked-in ice, I'm not interested. And I know that people do it, and they go out there every day, and they catch a lot of fish, and they have a great time. I know it. I know that. It's just not for me. Ed says, he really had to think about this for a minute. He was either going to watch Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery, or he was going to watch the Gretsch Who Stole Michigan do her state of the state. Let me see. Even if you don't like me, I'm probably a better choice to spend some time with right now than our governor. Not a fan. Not a fan. Carlos got 1 day of ice fishing, then back to the river. Cheers from Newaygo and the mighty Muskegon. Oh, I love Newaygo. I love the Muskegon River. Carlos, I grew up on the west side of the state. My dad loved to fish the Muskegon. We fished the Muskegon a few times for walleye. We fished it for trout. We fished it for salmon. Back in the day when the DNR not only allowed and permitted snagging, but they encouraged you to snag. Think about this. There was a time when the salmon first started to run the rivers, and the DNR said they don't feed. You can't catch them. So they encouraged anglers to use a snagging hook and catch fish with a snagging hook. It seems very archaic and very barbaric now, but that was the way of thinking. Johnny says we probably won't have snow after the next couple of weeks. I don't doubt that, Johnny. And Michigan's meteorologist, Mark Torregrossa, told me this about a month ago. He says, after we go through that cold spell, when you get the snow and the cold, he said, then it's going to get nice, and winter's going to basically be over. Justin's ready to get the rabbit dogs. Not too much fun in the rain, yeah. Jerry, yes, simple dye, dump dye in a container with an air pump going, add the right amount of water with the dye, add the live shiners, let it sit with the air on, like 45 minutes soak time, then net them out and put them in clean water with air. They take, I had no idea, Jerry. That's pretty cool. Josh Mapes, why do you always talk to me in caps? Why are you always shouting at me, bro? Johnny says, hey, Mike, one time, what day is it? Johnny, it's Wednesday. Why you guys keep talking to me like this, huh? It's Wednesday. One time. Mike, this is for old time's sake. Mike, what day is it? It's hump day! There, we got that out of our system. Watching me instead of the governor, probably a good choice. Hey, Joe, how are you? Aditya, how you doing, buddy? It was so nice to come down and visit you guys last week. Always fun to come down and see you and Shelb and the George. Gene said I'm the better choice. James, good evening. Tim says his dad was a snagging expert. Honestly, that's what they told us to do. You take this great big treble hook with weight on it, you cast it out across the river, and you bounce it back the bottom, and you're ripping it through there. And the goal was to literally snag into a fish. Jerry says he started his hunting in White Cloud. Good evening, Randy. John, good evening. Jason, my fellow Trinity brother. Josh says, I'm so excited to see you every time I shout. Nathan, if the lake is open with temps in the 20s and 30s, doesn't that mean more lake effect snow possible? I would think so. Brian says he used to snag the Muskegon and the Manistee, and it was accepted, wasn't it, Brian? Nowadays, I can't even imagine doing that. I can't imagine condoning it, but they did. Is this better? Is what better, John? Mike checking in from Coldwater. How are things down in Coldwater? Johnny said, I'm the man. Tony says, good one, Mike Avery Outdoors. Happy hump day, Mike Streeter. How are things down in the Keys? I'm so jealous of you. Not so much tonight when it's a little warmer, but last week when it was bitter cold. I'm doing good, Ralph. How are you? Jordan, won't be much ice left here after a week with these warm temps coming up. Unreal for the U. Jordan Hoover, this is a good time to bring up who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week, because coincidentally, my first guest on the show this week is Jordan Hoover. I've never met Jordan before. I've talked with him online. I have seen his posts, and I think he has an interesting perspective. So I thought, why not get a UP hunter, not a politician, not a DNR person, not a member of a sportsman's group or a conservation group, or at least not speaking from that perspective. Let's talk with just a UP hunter. And Jordan Hoover was my man, and he is the first guest on the show this week. Then, hold on a second. Okay, then Jay Waldersky from the Sturgeon for Tomorrow group, sturgeonfortomorrow.org, talks about the Chivalry next week on Black Lake. And then, I'm so mad at this guy. And then, I'm trying to hide your comments here. Hide your comments. The guy who took my place in the Pure Michigan hunt. I was supposed to win. They were supposed to draw Mike A. Last two digits of the cell phone, 80. I was waiting. Instead, they called Bill Wineland. And Bill was one of the winners of this year's Pure Michigan hunt. Listen to this. Do you know how many times Bill applied for the Pure Michigan hunt? And you know when he applied? He applied with 2 days to go left in the year, and he applied one time, and he won the thing. Okay, let's get down to my, let me catch up on my comments. Okay, Joe says, my wife and I got your tickets today for the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. The rest of my friends, you can get your tickets too. Go to one.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net/Trinity Monitor, and get your tickets there. We have some left. We will sell out. Randy, good evening. How are you? You want me to ask you again? Randy, do you play golf? Jeff says, if I watched the Gretchen tonight, I'd need more than one drink. You know my Wednesday night routine. I get done with Wednesday night in my Crystal Light out of my Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation overly priced Yeti. I would never buy a Yeti, but if people give them to me, I'll use them. Elmer, lake effect only occurs with really cold air over the warm lake. He knows. He lives in Petoskey. Kevin says, the good old days of snagging at Foot Dam. Man, that brought out the interesting characters, didn't it? You want to see some people who are probably wanted for a variety of crimes when snagging was allowed below Foot Dam? Go up there. Hey, Mike, good evening. How are you? DNR bought the spawn. They bought the spawn from the fish, yes. I got you, John. Typing in lowercase so we're not shouting. You never shout. It's only Mapes that shouts. Rick says it was a blast. Johnny says, nope, not when it's above 30 degrees. No lake effect. Ooh, Jeff got one of those big hooks in his lip the last year could snag in Scottville. Ooh, no thank you. It was a big business. James had fishable ice on some channels in southwest Michigan last weekend. Limit of gills. Terrible to see the ice disappear. Joe says, Johnny Bowler, you getting slammed with snow up there? Black Lake Sturgeon for tomorrow. Thank you, Mike. SturgeonForTomorrow.org. SturgeonForTomorrow.org. Chris, how are things in Kansas? Johnny says, no snow, not getting slammed. Uh-oh. Greg's looking for a couch to sleep on tonight. I'm sorry, brother. Greg says he's looking for a new home. He forgot his wife's birthday. Hey, what's your wife's name? Bring her, listen, tell me your wife's name. Bring her in front of whatever you're watching me on, and I'll tell her happy birthday, and I'll tell her it's from you. Maybe that'll help. Brad says, hoping the ice holds up on Saginaw River. I don't think it's going to. Michelle says, well, since you didn't get the Pure Michigan hunt, you'll have more time for the Mike Avery golf outing. That's going to be one of the topics tonight, Michelle. Erica, good evening. John Craves is having a birthday toast with your lovely sister-in-law. Happy birthday to you, Uncle Johnny. Tim says, once we found out that salmon in the rivers would hit daredevils, we realized they were eating in the rivers. Yeah, I remember that. Snagging was indeed combat fishing. All right, Jerry, I will do that. Thank you. I'm still waiting for our friend, Karen. Let me know when she's here. Trying to help you out here. Hi, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. It's something I do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on most of my social media outlets. I didn't go live on Instagram tonight. Is she here yet, Greg? Just kind of waiting to hear from Greg. In the meantime, I'll tell you who's in the second hour of this week's show. John Eberhardt, the Whitetail Whisperer, joins me. Deer and Deer Hunting Magazine just put him on the cover. Gotta get rid of that. Just put him on the cover of their magazine and says, is he the best deer hunter in the country? Left Gus home, but it's 72 in Orlando. Karen Salzman, are you with us? Your husband, Greg, he reached out to me earlier in the day. He sent me a Facebook message, and he said, today is my wife Karen's birthday. He said, I want to surprise my wife Karen by having you, Mike Avery, wish her a happy birthday on your Wednesday Night Live. So, Karen Salzman, this is from your husband, Greg. He loves you dearly. You are the most wonderful part of his life, and he wants to wish you a very sincere and a very wonderful happy birthday. Did John Littlefield offer up a spot? He did not. But I get it, right? Because he's just getting things going. Cam Haynes, hands down. What was the question, Jordan? What was the question? Patrick's heading over to St. Joe for steelhead fishing in a couple of weeks. That should be good. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying Cameron Haynes is the best bow hunter. I didn't say Eberhardt was. I just said that, I got you, Jordan. Deer and Deer Hunting says he is. Second part of the hour, Corporal Mike Hearn from the DNR talking about ORVs and talking about Shannon, how are you? And talking about snowmobiles. Can you run an can you run an ATV on a snowmobile trail? And in our third hour, Skeeter Beckman of Brent USA Rifles talks about coyote hunting. And of course, we work in hunting with an AR style gun because I think they're great. Hey, Brian, it's been a long time. How are you? Deborah, nice to have you along with us. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate that. Yeah, Eichler'd be something else too, wouldn't he? You know who I'd like to go hunting with? And I've met the guy and spent some time with him and drank beer with him and listened to his stories. Tim Wells. Tim Wells is one of the most interesting and fascinating guys I have ever met. So, pretty cool. Okay. I am, Brian. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about a few things here now. Isn't it nice that the weather is broken? I think so, but I'm not an ice fisherman. The Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction, Saturday, March 2nd. Man, have we got some good live auction items. It's shaping up to rival, if not surpass, last year. Go to one.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net. Create yourself an account. You can buy your tickets there for the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction, Saturday, March 2nd at the Great Hall in Midland. Live auction items include an African safari, thank you, Craig Plowman, an Illinois bow hunt down in the Golden Triangle just outside of Pike County, thank you, Craig Plowman, a predator hunting trip, thank you, Matt Schock. This now just added a 3-day Ogemaw County fully guided turkey hunt, courtesy of Gary Morgan and Wild Game Dynasty. For fishing trips, we have Detroit River Walleye Trip with Captain Mark Pananzek. We have a Saginaw Bay Walleye Trip with Captain Doug Ward. We have another Saginaw Bay Walleye Trip with me. We've got a bunch of guns to auction off, raffle off, some blinds. One.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net. You guys are talking about names I didn't even know. I mean, I don't mean to diss any of these people. I'm just not interested in the sport of deer hunting, not interested enough to get that involved or invested in it. Deborah says she'll take the fishing trip. That's the other one I was trying to think of, Johnny, thank you. Oh, a bear hunt with the Bear Whisperer, Johnny Bowler, in the UP, and a brook trout fishing trip on the Fox or the Driggs, Johnny. Anyway, Ernest Hemingway's old stomping grounds with the Bear Whisperer, also called the brook trout whisperer. Thank you, Johnny. That's on my list. I just forgot it right now. Brook trout. So we've got, I mean, phenomenal. Fox. I've never fished the Fox. I have fished the Driggs. When did I interview Fred Bear? I think it was 1986. I think. So anyway, we got a great event coming up. One.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net / Trinity Monitor. Get your tickets now. We have some available. We will indeed sell out. Okay. You don't like the Driggs? Why, Johnny? Why is that? It's been a lot of years. It's been like 35, 40 years since I fished it. Chris, going back to Canada on a bear hunt. Excellent. I'm going to be up there in August in White River, hunting with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters. That's why too many snags. And the Fox doesn't. That's why if we do have a Mike Avery Outdoors golf outing, we can't do it in June. We can't do it in early July. And we can't do it in the middle of August. Shannon, the website is one.bidpal.net. One, O-N-E, one.bidpal.net / Trinity Monitor. Or If you go to my Facebook page when we're done here and you scroll up or scroll down, however you want to think about it, it's down on the page. There's a QR code. And if you scan that QR code, it'll take you right to the website and you can buy tickets there. Going to be another great event. I'm really, really looking forward to it. one.bidpal.net. Yes. Or scan the QR code. Oh, Chris, excellent. The best part is wife is going for the first time. Very cool. Johnny says, I have fished the Fox for 40 years, only fished the Driggs 2 times. So anyway, Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer and the Brook Trout Whisperer, a good friend of mine, is going to be at the event. He is donating a UP bear hunt, and he's donating a brook trout fishing trip on the Fox River. Two different giveaways, 2 different prizes. How cool is that? Thank you, Johnny. Scott Hand, June 8th and 9th, Walleye for Warriors this year. You fishing in it this year? I'd like to do the same thing I did last year, Scott, but let me check my calendar here. I think I've already got it in here. Scott Hand is giving away a youth hunt on his farm. Yeah, I got it in here, Scott. I want to do the same thing if we can. Walleyeforwarriors.org. No, it's actually walleyesforwarriors.org. Way too early to sign up yet, folks. Don't go over there now and try to sign up. Not going to happen. June 8th and 9th this year. I did see... Well, I don't want to get into that right now, Scott. I think you know our mutual friend in that industry. I think you know what's going on with him right now. If not, shoot me a text. I'll answer you. But I saw him yesterday. Dan, my dad and I are going to Ontario in August for his first bear hunt. My 13-year-old son, who doesn't get to hunt, will be fishing all week. Dan, where are you going in Ontario? Where are you going? I'm going to my list here of turkey hunt, youth hunt, UP bear hunt. Yeah, I've got all of them in here in my list. My official list, guys, Johnny. And Scott, I just forgot to talk about them tonight. African safari, Saginaw Bay walleye, guided turkey hunt, youth hunt, UP bear hunt, Detroit River walleye, coyote hunt, UP trout fishing, Detroit River walleye, if I didn't say it, primal blinds, a lot of guns, one.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Dave, are you and Sam going to be able to join us at the Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack in March 20th? Pickerel Lake Outfitters. Have fun. All right, Chris, get back to work. Always a pleasure to hear from you, my friend. And I hope our paths get a chance to cross in person sometime in the future. What else? Oh, the golf outing. It was brought up last week that maybe we should have a Mike Avery Outdoors golf outing. And I said, yeah, that actually sounds like fun. And then the thing started to get traction. And a lot of people said, I would play in that. I would support that. I'd be in it. I want to be a whole sponsor, yada, yada. Kevin Hannes, who is the superintendent of the West Branch Country Club, he was also one of the original guys in Michigan to run a tracking dog. That's how I know him. Dave's going to... Excellent. Okay, Johnny, be safe. Go protect somebody. Johnny is on the volunteer fire department there in Seney. So Kevin said, I'd like to work with you. And then I didn't realize this. I didn't think of golf outings as fundraisers, but people said, oh, yeah, you can make money on them. So then the question is, where does the money go? I said, I'd like to give the money to MUCC's Camp for Kids to encourage kids to get involved in the outdoors. And then the thing took off, got legs. So Kevin Hannes right now is waiting to hear from me. He wants some details. He wants to know how we want it structured. He wants to know how many people to expect, and he wants to know a time frame. It's going to have to be the end of July or early or late August, just not mid-August. I don't know. What do you think? 18 holes, foursome at every hole, playing a scramble? I don't know. What do you think? Hey, Randy, how are you? Doesn't matter if you're late, you're here, buddy. That's all that matters. Evening, Tommy. How are you? I think it'll be a lot of fun, John. The problem is these golf outings, they're fun, but there's so much work behind the scenes. And I said, I don't want to get involved in running it. Well, Craig Plowman's wife scrambled 18 holes. Yeah. So what would that be? Would that 18 holes, a foursome at every hole, so it would be 18 times 4? Is that the number we're looking at? 33, 72 people? Craig says, Michelle and I will do everything. Nice. Plow some of the slush off the driveway. At least, well, better slush than zero. I don't know. When Justin from MUCC was on the Behind the Mic segment this morning, and he actually offered up one of their MUCC people to run it. I'm all in. I just don't want to put it together. I will be there. I will promote it. I will drink a beer, smoke a cigar, play golf, raise money for a good cause, and have a riot, but I just don't want to put it together. Nathan says 18 holes, you can actually have 2 foursomes at each hole. So 144. Yeah, I agree. Event holes, closest to pin, long drive, etc. Absolutely. Well, I know you do, Bill, because you're the guy who suggested it, and I keep giving you credit for coming up. I keep saying Bill Lincoln is the guy who suggested the golf outing. Nathan, let me ask you this. If we were to do this, obviously it is a first-year event. Is there any merit in keeping it to that 72 number just so it's manageable and maybe potentially turn people away and make it a more desirable event for the second year rather than say we're going to shoot for 144 and not reach that number? That's always my concern with a first-year event. Craig says, we will work with that MUCC rep. You're not giving me Craig, you're not you're not giving me a lot of excuses to back out of this thing, are you? Ace says he can drive a cart. Nathan says it just takes longer is all. Good point. Craig says have to look at how many people they can hold in the restaurant. Here's what I'm thinking, though. Here's what I'm thinking. And Emil Rousseau from the Lumberjack restaurant has also offered to be involved. Emil is a cook. He's a chef. Maybe we just somehow get the Lumberjack to cater the event, although I don't know if the golf course would allow that. That's true. It does not give you an option to sign up. You have to make an account, Shannon. You have to sign in and make an account, and then you can buy your tickets. I think so, Tim. I agree with you, Scott and Tim. I've been involved in an awful lot of public events. I always find it's better with the first year to promote the hell out of it, but keep your goals a little bit lower. So if and when you exceed those goals, it gives you momentum for the following year, rather than set your goals real high, maybe not reach those goals, and cast a little bit of a pall over the event. So thinking similar, go to the hotel after golf. Yeah. You guys have it all figured out, don't you? I guess I'm just along for the ride. Just along for the ride. So I don't know. I think it could be a lot of fun. And Bill Lincoln, thank you. Thank you for coming up with that. I never thought of that. I never thought of it. Shannon, I'm hanging with you here. I want to stay with you long enough to get you signed up. One.bidpal.net. Shannon says it does not give me an option to sign in. You have to create an account. Wow, Nathan. 72 is usually pretty easy to get. My church has one. It raises 20 grand a year. Wow. I thought if we, well, and again, keep the bar low. First year event, raise $5,000 for a good cause, and everybody walks away happy. Our Trinity Monitor event, speaking of church events, Trinity Monitor event, one.bidpal.net, where Shannon is at right now. That thing has proven to be a moneymaker too. And you know why we make so much money on that event? Number one, I think the event is blessed by God. Wouldn't that be something, Scott? The first winner of the Angler Quest tourney, the first winner of the Mike Avery Outdoors Golf Tourney. That would be pretty cool. Maybe, Scott, we can talk Brad into giving away an Angler Quest, Quest, as one of the prizes. Longest drive. That ain't going to happen. And we cut back on silent auction items and have fewer sponsors than we used to. I have seen, I agree with you, Nathan. I have seen with our Trinity event, you can overwhelm people. You got to give them, I believe, maybe a fewer number of prizes and options, but make them all good quality, desirable prizes and options. Hole in one for an AQ. Yeah, maybe we can talk him into it. I was going to say the reason that our Trinity event makes money is I believe the event is blessed. And also, we are blessed. I am blessed to have so many good friends who keep coming up with these wonderful live auction items that I can auction off and we can raise money for. And I'm thinking of Scott Hand. I'm thinking of Craig Plowman. Maybe a 2-year paid lease. It's not going to happen, Jeff. It's not going to happen. Johnny Bowler, Matt Schock, all these people who have donated time. Gary Morgan, Wild Game Dynasty. That 3-day guided turkey hunt is brand new for this year, by the way. Shannon, did you get in there yet? Did you get on there yet? Jim says, God has been mentioned a lot in golf for sure. Yeah, but probably, but yeah. Not necessarily in a pleasing manner, though. Oh, Shannon, come back to me here. I want to see if you got your tickets. one.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net, or go to my Facebook page when we are done here and scan the QR code. It'll take you directly to the website. You have to sign in. You have to create an account. All we're asking for is your email address, if I remember right. And then also, if you buy tickets, they're going to ask you for your credit card information. It is a secure website. It is a website that is designed for things just like this. I put my credit card in there and I bought 24 tickets. Okay, what else? Shannon, I really want to hear from you. So between Craig Plowman, Michelle Plowman, Emil Rousseau, and MUCC, I don't think I can avoid this thing. Not that I want to avoid it. Joe says they sent me a text as soon as they went on sale. Yeah, because you were already in the system, Joe. Shannon is not. Shannon is not. Boom. Oh, what else? What do you think, folks? Is the ice fishing season, say, on the Saginaw River and Saginaw Bay, is it over? Will we get good ice again? Or have we seen what we're going to see? Tommy, who's gone? Shannon? What's gone, Tommy? Shannon's gone? Oh, it's gone. Ice. I'm sorry. Yes, the ice is gone. Thank you, Tommy. You're right. And ice fishing. LOL. I know. That's pretty funny time. I asked you a question. Is the ice gone? And Tommy says gone, and I'm like, what's gone? Duh. Over on the bay, Scott says, and that's okay, isn't it, Scott? Ed says, all I need to do is show up at the golf outing with a smile and some sunscreen. I don't wear. It is, Bill. I don't wear sunscreen. That's why I've got these marks here on my head. Well, whatever that is, too. Bill says it's almost time for some Maker's Mark. It's getting darn close. Trump wins New Hampshire. Hooray. I don't want to get too much into politics, but let me just make one observation. In a country of 300 million people, how can we not come up with two better candidates for president than what we're going to have? And I'll leave it at that. 300 million people, and those are the choices we have. I know how I will vote if that's the choice, and I'll do it reluctantly. Evening, Danny. How are you? I hope she is too, Joe. Jim says right. Mike says right. 300 million people, and this is the choice we get. All right, my friends. I really want to hear back from Shannon. I'm hoping she got in. Shannon, if you're still listening, send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I really want to, because if you can't get in there, I will, I'll put you in touch with the powers that be, so you can, because we really want you to. Oh, thank you, John. Brings up a good point with 1 minute left, 2 minutes left. My fault. The Deer Management Initiative. If you gripe about deer management in Michigan, and you don't fill out an application to be on the Deer Management Initiative group, quit pitching. If you think the DNR is making such stupid mistakes and you think you have better input, go online and fill out your application for the Deer Management Initiative. I did. And I don't think I'm qualified, but if the DNR is going to give me the opportunity to be a part of a group that will impact deer management in our state into the future, I'm going to do it. I will, Ed. Bonnie says she applied. I applied. Thank you, Johnny. I will. Joe says amen. Yeah, I applied. I applied for the Deer Management Initiative. I don't think I have anything to offer, but if they're going to give me a chance to be a part of it, I'm going to put my application in. You should, John. I think you should apply. A lot of the stuff is being done online. I think there's going to be one meeting in Bay City or something, but it's not going to be a lot of time when you think about, man, the fact that I could be a part of something here. Oh, there it is. It was running in the background. All right, there we go. All it takes is one false move. One false button, one false move, and everything gets screwed up. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. My name is Mike Avery. The website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Sign up for the Deer Management Initiative. Let me know, should we do a Mike Avery Outdoors golf outing? Ace, good night to you, buddy. Go to the website, one.bidpal.net, one.bidpal.net to sign up to get your tickets for the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. Patrick says time for some Van Payne Black and Coke and time to fill this thing up with Maker's Mark. All right, my friends, have a good night. We'll talk to you next.